Michelle here from Walking2bytwo, and this is the first episode of our series Feed the Hike. I decided to go straight for it. Let's just go straight to the greens and really look at what the greens can bring to the hike and to your diet and to your well-being. Today I'm going to show you how you too can create your own super green powder to take with you out on the trail, especially for those long distances when you don't want to carry anything heavy but you really need to get that nutrients. Super green powder is great because you can sprinkle it on all your foods, put it in your soups. It's very lightweight and you don't need a whole lot of it to really benefit from it. We're also going to look at how you can dehydrate some green vegetables that you can use to make soups or to put within your meals. Having greens in our diet is very important, especially when you're hiking. They are so full of powerful vitamins and minerals, and they include a lot of iron and calcium as well. They're rich in fiber, which is going to help your gut, and that's really good when you're out on the trail, and lots of antioxidants. So there's just everything positive about these greens. Now you're probably thinking, well, I'm on the trail, how am I going to eat all these beautiful luscious greens, especially when you're on the trail for quite a long period of time? Well, I'm going to help you, show you how to do this and take your greens on the trail and still be very healthy. I'm going to show you today how to dehydrate all those luscious greens and make them into a powder. Now you can buy powder from the store. These are a few that I have picked up to show you. And you can also buy super green powder, which I have often done if I haven't been able to get a lot of greens, if the season's been wrong. So having the super greens powders are really good way to get those vitamins and nutrients that your body needs. I will sprinkle them on my food, my pasta, my rice, and yes, it is giving you what you need while you're out there. This here, I managed to find this the other week and I was pretty excited. It was just from the local supermarket and it's broccoli powder. I do make my own broccoli powder. Normally I'll dehydrate my own broccoli and use it quite often in my food. But I saw this, I thought, you know, it was on the throw out rack, so it was really cheap. I thought, what a great option. I can make soups in it, with it. I can sprinkle it on my pasta, my rice, etc. And I'm going to get those nutrients. It is so high in fiber, calcium. It's a fantastic source of iron. It's very good. It's suitable for vegans and vegetarians. Spirulina is very good, as it says, high in energy, iron and antioxidants. This is really good. You just add it to any of your foods. I like to usually add this into my greens powder that I make up. This packet's going to last me for ages because you don't need to use much. So very good. It's also vegan and vegetarian friendly. Okay, dehydrating the greens is a really easy process to do. I've got some kale here. Kale, again, is a really good green to have. Very rich in vitamins. Make sure it's really washed because you don't want any dirt in it. And just chop it up. You can do it whole. I like to chop it up because the less surface area that needs to dehydrate, the better. So you chop it up like this. Now you can buy a bunch of this really cheap from the markets or from your supermarket. Once it's all chopped up, put it on your dehydrating tray, just spread it out, and you pop that into the dehydrator. Here I've got some spinach. So all this that I'm doing is going to end up being all mixed together and then blended into a powder. So I'm just going to go ahead and do all that, and then we'll show you the end result. You want to spread this out quite thinly. Don't clump it into one. Make sure it's quite spread out. Halfway through the drying process, I will stop and move it all around to help it dry evenly. Dehydrate your greens. It's very important that you dehydrate these at a low temperature. You don't want to dehydrate them fast. You want them to dehydrate slowly. So for Celsius, that would be anywhere from 40 down. I always do it around 35 degrees Celsius. For Fahrenheit, that's around anything under 110 is good. Now don't worry if you don't have a temperature control on your dehydrating. You can dehydrate this in any dehydrator that you have, or put your oven on very low and leave the door open just a little bit and dehydrate it in your oven. But make sure the oven is as low as it can go till it's just almost on. Make sure when you do your zucchini, you do it thinly sliced. That way it will dehydrate very quickly. I'm also going to do some alfalfa, which is very good for you. Spread that out. Now, like I said, if you don't want to go through this hassle of you doing a dehydration yourself, you can find this soup of green superfoods already done for you within the store. I like doing it myself. I get the pleasure out of actually creating something myself that's healthy and good for me. But if you're not up to it, you don't have time, or you really don't want to, that's okay. Go to the health food store or the supermarket and look for those super greens and start putting them into your foods. The other thing I like to put in is seaweeds, a bit of seaweed. And you can buy this, the seaweed snacks, from your supermarket or health food stores. You can buy it by the sheet, just like that. It's already done. I don't have to do anything to it. I can just add it to my other super greens. I have here some English spinach. I always take English spinach. It's just fantastic, and if you properly dehydrate it, it comes back virtually exactly like that. and I put it in my soups, my rice, my pastas, any dish that I have out there. I just sprinkle some of this through it. Zucchini, I love having zucchini, same thing, I just put it through everything. When I dehydrate my zucchini, I actually grate it, which I will show you. I grate it and then put it through the dehydrator. It dehydrates like that and rehydrates like that. And here I have some coriander. I love the flavors of coriander. I love the smell of it. The earthy smell is just beautiful. It's amazing. And again, it can go in just about anything, your soup, anything really, soups, your pasta, your rices, and it just adds that little bit extra flavor. Here, parsley, love my parsley again. I dehydrate that and put it through everything. Asparagus, again, I have a lot of asparagus in my meals, which is very good. Shallots or spring onions, depends where you come from to what you want to call them. And all these things here that I've got today all really easy to dehydrate, but they're super quick to rehydrate, which is important when you're on the trail, because you want not only healthy foods that are full of vitamins and minerals and fiber, you also want foods that are actually going to rehydrate quicker, so you're using less fuel, less water, but you're still getting the benefits out of it. When you're dehydrating food is not to do big chunks. So I wouldn't cut it there and have big chunks of food. That will take a lot longer for it to dehydrate. I mean, eventually it will, anything will, but it's just going to take a lot longer to dehydrate, and in turn will take a lot longer to rehydrate. And when you're on the trail and water and fuel are at a minimum, you really want to make the most of it and do it fine and small so that you can then rehydrate quicker and save on those fuels. Spring onions, again, very lightweight, dries beautifully, great to sprinkle through any types of food. Again, we can store it in a container, so I've got some here already. I'm just going to add to it. I use spring onion a lot. Pop it in there. And you can see I have my little oxygen absorber, which just helps keep the oxygen and moisture out. And then I put that in the cupboard where it's nice and dark and away from the sunlight. And it stores quite well, and it's ready to go for when I go hiking. Is our asparagus. As you can see, it does dehydrate really, really small. Here is one that's not dehydrated, just to show you the difference. I have fully dehydrated all my yummy greens. If you listen, that is what they'll sound like. They're very crispy and crunchy. I could store them as they are and use them out on the trail as they are, or I could crunch them up and use them to sprinkle over my food or into my soups. Well, what I'm going to do right now is actually put them in the blender, and we're going to blend them up into a powder. Look at that. How cool is that? At this point, I'm also going to throw in, remember I said some of the seaweed. So let's just put some of that in. Rich in iodine and iron and nutrients. Very, very good. Don't be afraid to put in what you want. This is your power mix. This is your green mix. And you know what? Don't just stick to the greens. Put anything in. You could even put blueberry powder in. I've done that before and that's nice. Now I'm going to put in some of this broccoli powder because I didn't dehydrate broccoli this time. So I didn't need to because I had this. So it's in there. And of course the spirulina. This is going to be a really good mix. Add a bit more of that. Now, there is no measurements on this. You work it out. You go with what you want. It doesn't really matter. There's no hard rules. So, look at that. That is just a whole jar full of goodness. Now that you have made your greens, you can store this in your jar. But to take out on the trail, it's not convenient to take a jar. So I often will just put it in a zippy bag. It's not a long trip. A small zippy bag like this works. If it's a longer journey, a bigger one. And then I just at camp will access what I need, put on my food, zip up the bag again, and ready for the next meal. Dehydrating your food to take with you out on the trail. Don't be scared. Don't be scared to try. And you know what? Sometimes it might not work. It doesn't matter. But give it a go. Everything I show you too, there are alternatives. You can get this already done from the supermarket, from the health food stores. If you shop around, you can find these things. So if you're somebody who doesn't necessarily want to dehydrate, or you don't own a dehydrator, it's okay. You can still use these ideas to create a healthy diet for yourself while you're on the trail. If you like my video, give me a thumbs up, and I want you to subscribe so that I can continue bringing you more content and to inspire you, hopefully, to get out there and try it for yourself.